Time to have a little bit of a slow down practice. We'll get into another gentle flow. If you have tight backs of the legs, like it's hard to touch the floor or touch your toes, I would suggest blocks or some sort of step stool to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. And we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So see what shin naturally comes in front. That's probably the one that always crisscrosses in front. We're going to swap. So it might feel a little bit awkward, but we're working on bringing some symmetry to the body. In an easy seat like this, rest the hands down on the tops of the thighs or the knees. Pull your chest forward so you're sitting up nice and tall, but at the same time, draw your navel towards your spine so you have some core engagement. Crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling, and you can close your eyes here as a way to tune everything out that is around you. Notice the flow of the breath here. Simply feel the rhythm of your inhales and exhales. While you're breathing, check in with the body. Heart drawing forward, shoulder blades squeezing back and together. Navel towards the spine. Crown of the head lifted. Sits bones rooted into your mat. So you're sitting up as tall as you physically can. Work towards a deeper breath. You might count 3, 4, 5 for the inhale. And then see if you can match that same length of the breath for your exhale. We'll be here for a few moments, building a breath for a calmer body. Take one more round of breath. And place hands at heart center. Tuck your chin towards your chest, and if your eyes are still closed, flutter them open. Set a drishti, a gaze, right down at your fingertips. And then we'll find some circling of the shoulders. So with your next inhale, the arms go down, back, and around overhead. That's your inhale breath. And exhale, bring hands right back down to heart. Inhale, full circle, reach up. And exhale, hands to center. 2 more of those. Find your breath. On your next inhale, reach up. But this time the right hand is going to fall off the right side of your mat for your exhale. Reach the left arm up, inhale, and then take a side lean over to the right, exhale. I want you to notice a couple things here. Hips are even, so your left hip is just as grounded as your right one. Your left ear is close, if not touching that left arm, so the head is not just hanging in space. Find some activity, long spine. Right elbow can be bent as you lean towards the side, or you can walk the right hand further out. Few breaths getting into your left side. Walk this right hand closer to you. Right arm up, inhale. Exhale, hands to center. Taking it to the other side, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, left hand off the side of the mat. Reach the right arm up, inhale, and take your side lean to the left. Same setup, ground the hips, left palm grounded heavily. Little bit of a spiral towards the ceiling, and make sure your head is not dangling in space. Left hand walks closer, and then sweep up, inhale. Exhale, bring thumbs to your sternum. One more round of breath. Reach the arms up on your inhale, and exhale, hands to center. Let's come to tabletop from here, hands and knees. Once the palms are grounded, spread the fingers nice and wide. Hips are directly over the knees. And notice how gravity likes to take a hold here and have the belly kind of drop down towards the mat. So do the opposite, the tailbone a little bit tucked under, belly button drawing up. Press the mat away from you, prepping the wrists to bear some weight. And then with your next inhale breath, allow the belly button to drop as you lift your tailbone and the gaze, cow pose. With your exhale, you're pressing the mat away, tucking chin, tucking tailbone, cat pose. Inhale, pull yourself forward, chest to the front of the mat, and exhale, press away, spine to the ceiling. Take about 2 to 3 more rounds, your breath. Your next inhale allows you to come back to tabletop, hands and knees. Press the mat away, tuck your toes under, and let the hips rise to your downward facing dog. If this feels a little bit too narrow, walk the feet backwards a little bit, and then find some movement. So you're going to bend into one knee and the other. As one knee is bent, the opposite knee is nice and straight, grounding that heel down. And then just find some movement. Hips can sway side to side. Give the head a shake, a nod. And the shape you want in your downward facing dog is an upside down V shape. If your heels are not touching the mat, that's totally fine. If you feel the backs of the legs are extremely tight, find a little bend into the knees and see if you can press the arms so that the hips are lifted towards the ceiling. And then inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend knees, look forward, and let's step the feet together at the top of your mat. Toe mounds are touching, little opening in the heels, knees can bend, find a forward fold. With your next inhale, let's sweep the arms all the way up to standing. So we're using your core to come upright, and then exhale, hands to center. A couple more of those shoulder sweeps. So inhale the arms down, back and up, and exhale, hands to center. Go about 2 more rounds with that. On your next inhale, the arms will sweep up, they'll stay there. Feet stay grounded, knees bend a bit, so a pretty tall chair pose here. Fingers are extended, shoulders are relaxed. Belly button towards the spine, and your toes are very light. Two more full breaths, chair pose. With your next exhale, we'll take a fold all the way down. Knees can always bend for the palms to ground down. And if that seems really far away, here's where your blocks can come into play. And you can find your forward fold with nice grounded palms. And you might even be able to straighten the legs a little bit more to get a stretch behind the legs. Tuck your chin for your fold. And then if you're using blocks, set them away, palms to the mat. We're stepping back, downward dog, 1 foot at a time. Hips nice and high, you can find a little more movement. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend knees, look forward. Inhale, step those toe mounds to touch top of the mat. Fold, exhale. Inhale, rise to standing. That's your Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to center. Another chair pose. Bend the knees, extend the arms. This time we'll get into the front body, the chest. So arms go wide, and then take an interlace at the low back. If this seems really hard on the shoulders, you might also take opposite elbows. You're working on rolling the shoulders down and back, finding some lift through the sternum, drawing elbows, arms, knuckles down. Few breaths with this open heart. Keep the arm shape you have. Let's bend the knees a little deeper. So now you're gazing down towards the floor or even your mat. Arms may be able to lift off of the low back. And if you've got the elbows, they can even lift a little bit. Toes are still light. One more breath. And then we're folding on your exhale. You can keep the arms as they are. Again, if this is just too much on the shoulders, then let the hands go all the way down. Give the head a nice shake. And then let's softly release, hands down to the mat. Always stepping back, alternating the feet. Let's go left and right, or right and left if you're always a left stepper, and downward facing dog. Three-legged dog from here. So your right leg is going to lift into the air. The tendency is to allow that hip to open up, which is not incorrect, but I'd like you to have all 5 toes angled down towards the mat so that the hips are square. You'll likely feel a deep stretch happening in that left leg. Press the mat away from you. One more breath. And then right foot is stepping all the way forward. So if you only made it about halfway up, take that leg and help step it forward. Right knee is over your right ankle and your left foot can scooch back. So there's a very long distance between the 2 feet. Walk the hands up to that right thigh and try to get a little straighter with the arms. And then the arms can sweep up overhead to your high lunge. Ball of the back foot is ideally lifted in your high lunge pose. Soften the shoulders. And then we're dropping your left heel to come into your warrior 2. Right heel is intersecting that back foot. Arms are extended forward and backward. There's a tendency to lean forward here. So shoulders stacked over your hips, tailbone straight down. Commit to the lunge in that front knee. With your next inhale, straighten that front leg and the palms will meet up overhead. And we'll move between these 2. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, take a nice sweep up. And exhale, warrior 2. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reach up, hands come to the hips. Right foot is going to now dial to face in. So all 10 toes in, heels out. We're taking this forward fold. So again, if the floor is really far away from you or you have tight backs of the legs, blocks are going to come underneath you. Hands at the hips, take a breath in to lift your heart, and exhale, lean forward with the chest. Hands find blocks or all the way down to the mat. Try to have a nice flat spine. Let the head go. Look down at the palms. If you're with blocks, they can definitely come with you. Let's take a bend into that left knee. So you've got your side lunge. Again, moving with breath. Inhale back to center, 2 straight legs. And now we'll go right. Exhale, bend into that right knee. Moving with breath. Inhale, 2 straight legs. Exhale, bend left. Inhale, center. And exhale, right. One more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Walk the hands towards that right foot and we're going to turn to reface the top of the mat. So your right foot steps wide once again. You're in this runner's lunge for a moment. And then this left knee is dropping all the way down. If you've got sensitive knees, you can fold them out for some extra padding or put any kind of foam piece or a low pillow underneath that left knee. Back toes can untuck. If this is your pose, stay here. Otherwise, you once again could press that right thigh away, getting a little bit taller. One final step, you could sweep the arms up and overhead. Just notice that you want this deep lunge in the front knee as opposed to a stacking of the hips. Over time, we'll work on sinking a little bit lower. Rest your right elbow down on that right leg. A block or something low underneath your left hand. Right hand to your right thigh. Peel yourself open, twisting towards the right. Facing forward, two hands come all the way down to the floor. We're going to tuck your back toes under to lift that knee. Right foot takes a step back to your downward facing dog. So sweeping all the way back, 2 feet to the mat. You might take a quick pedal, but then settle into your downward dog. Let's take that going to the other side. So your left leg into the air, trying to get all 5 toes facing down. Press through the palms strongly. And then take a step forward. You can lift that right heel to give you some space and step that foot. You can scooch it, inchworm its way up, but you want your left knee stacked over your left ankle. Right heel ideally stacked over the ball of the foot over time. Hand over hand, let's come to that left thigh. Peel your chest away from that thigh. And then you can extend the arms up, high lunge. With your next exhale, the right heel drops down and you open the hips towards the right. So you've got your warrior 2. Left heel in line with that, with the right foot, gazes forward. Inhale, the front leg straightens, the palms meet up overhead, and exhale, back to that warrior 2. Smooth inhale and movement, reach up, and exhale, warrior 2. 2 more rounds, move with your breath. Inhale, straighten back up again. Hands will find your hips and your left toes will dial in. So the feet are parallel again. If you found blocks helpful, blocks will be underneath your body again. Arms wide, inhale. Take the interlace behind you, so similar to what we did in that chair pose. Knuckles are going to draw down, shoulders away from the ears, chest lifts higher. And then take a lean forward. So you're leading with your heart. Try not to let everything fall inward. Still pressing the chest forward. And you can find this fold. Knuckles can reach up towards the ceiling. If this shape isn't working for your body, once again, hands can come down or find blocks. You do want straight legs. That's getting the stretch to the backs of the legs over time. And you want weight towards the balls of the feet. So whatever variation of the pose you're in, take a few breaths. And then let's look down. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Take a breath in here. And let's start by bending that right knee for a side lunge. Blocks can come with you. Inhale, 2 straight legs. And exhale, left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. exhale. Last round, inhale center. Exhale right. Inhale. Exhale left. Hands will walk towards that left foot and all the way around. We're coming to that low lunge. Left foot, once again, is underneath that left knee. Right knee can come down, padding as needed, and those right toes on top. Take a moment to really press the hips low and forward. And without moving the legs or the hips, try to bring one or both hands up to that thigh and just peel your torso away from your leg. If you swept the arms up overhead, that could be your pose. And then left elbow down to the thigh. Right hand comes underneath a block again. Press that hand down, left hand to the top of the thigh, and turn to face the left. Facing forward again, block can sit out of the way, hands return to the mat. Stepping back to your down dog. Back toes under to lift the knee, left foot steps back, and find your downward dog. Give a couple of pedals out, and then inhale, lift heels. Exhale, bend knees, look forward. Take a step to the top of the mat, inhale. Fold with your exhale. Inhale, we come to stand, let the arms draw a big circle. And hands to heart center, exhale. One last modified sun A. Reach the arms up, inhale. Take your forward fold, exhale. Step back plank pose on the inhale. Shoulders are stacked over your wrists now. Belly button pressed towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Down dog, exhale. Final downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths to move around, and then at least a few breaths in stillness. Look forward, and let's come to sit. So your blocks can set on either side of your hips so that they're handy if you need them. And then we're gonna let the legs go nice and wide to a V shape. So we were in this pose standing up, now sitting. Toes in line with knees, and try to press the heels forward so you have nice active ankles. Hands behind you for a moment. Push those hips forward so you're sitting up as tall as you physically can. Take a breath in here. And then working your core, are you able to release the hands and tent them on the shins? Still finding lift through the torso. Next step would be reaching the arms up overhead. Notice if there's any collapse happening and try to resist that. Get strong and press forward. One more breath in here, standing tall. And then rest your hands down inside the legs. Walk the hands out a foot in front of you or so. You can stay there. Elbows might be able to rest down on blocks. Some folks might be able to come all the way down to the forearms. Check in with the legs. Toes are still in line with knee and heels nice and active. Chest is pulling forward. Even though you're forward folding, resist the shoulders falling into the ears. Get long in the spine here. Walk yourself up, block to the side. Keeping this wide shape, just draw your right foot towards your left thigh. Both hips grounded. Let's take a twist over towards that right knee. Release to face forward. Right foot comes away from the leg a bit so that left knee can bend and left foot can meet as well. Bump your hips a little closer towards the heels and then fingertips behind you. Use your fingertips to press the hips forward, spine long. And if you can keep all of this length in your spine and release the hands, you could find the feet instead. Whatever works for your body, sit up tall, inhale, and drop your chin to your chest, exhale. Let the knees be heavy. Lift the chin. Now we're going to take your right leg, let it go nice and long off the side of the mat, and draw your left foot a little closer in. So the legs are still wide, coming out from the hips. Sit up tall, inhale, and then twist towards that left knee, exhale. The weight should be even in your hips, so that right hip should not be popping up. It should be completely grounded down. Take yourself back to face forward. Straighten through left leg, just to give the knees a bounce, and then we'll come facing forward to the top of the mat. Feet are going to be planted here, blocks can sit out of the way. Scoop underneath your legs, take a little tilt back, and try to lift the heels to the height of your knees. Chest is lifted, core is working, and if you don't need the arms, let them reach out in front of you. Boat pose. Squeeze the legs in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the toes down. Give yourself a hug in. And let's roll yourself all the way down to your back. Have a block nearby and plant your feet on the mat. Lift your hips so that the block is on the very lowest setting and it's going to go underneath your hips. A pillow could also work here, a nice cushiony pillow. We're going to get the legs up into the air. Arms are down by your sides, feet will lift up, and then legs will straighten all the way into the air. Supported shoulder stand. This is super great for the energy, letting everything flow in an opposite direction. Give the ankles a spin, the toes a spread. And then just be here. Let the feet stop moving. Gaze can be at the big toes, or you might even start to close the eyes. Let gravity take a hold of you here. Taking a good 5 or so deeper, slower breaths. Let the knees start to bend as the feet slowly approach the mat again. And once the feet are grounded, lift your hips, remove whatever object is underneath you, and hug your knees in the center. Rock on either side of the spine. Let the knees drop towards the right side of your mat. Arms can open out, and set your eye gaze towards the left. Come back through center. And then let the knees fall left. Your gaze is now going to shift right. Come back to center. Give yourself a hug in. I'll give you a couple of options for rest. If you really liked your legs in the air, I suggest taking your short edge of the mat up against a wall somewhere, and you can let your legs rest up against the wall for a much more supported variation of it, and you wouldn't need to put a block underneath your hips. You could bring the feet towards touch and let the knees splay to the side. Here you could have a block under each of your knees. Traditional, just lay nice and long on your mat, letting the arms and the legs find a comfortable distance. And if you're able to rest for at least a good 3 minutes, take the rest. Your body will love it. If you are watching this video straight from YouTube, I suggest pausing it. Otherwise, another video is going to come and possibly disrupt your rest. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. If you haven't subscribed yet, you might subscribe now and be alerted. I'm sending multiple videos out per week. And just enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining class. See you later.